Elias had always been a curious child. While other kids played with video games, he explored basements, climbed trees, and read books about ghosts. He didn't believe everything he read, but he believed enough to listen when something felt wrong. And the moment he stepped into the attic of their new house, something felt very wrong. The dusty air was thick, heavy like it had been holding its breath for 100 years. The dollhouse stood in the far corner, just as he had heard in the stories the neighbors whispered, stories his parents called nonsense. But Elias wasn't so sure. The dollhouse was beautiful in an eerie way, hand-carved, with wooden shingles, cracked white paint, and tiny black shutters. Inside, he could see tiny figures frozen in rooms. One in the kitchen, one in the hallway, two in the attic. The attic dolls drew his eyes immediately. One wore a red dress, the other wore a checkered nightgown, and both stared straight at him. Elias stepped closer. His fingers hovered over the roof, drawn to the detail. But something made him pause. He could hear whispering, faint, like wind through a crack in the wall. And then he saw it, a piece of paper folded and shoved between the boards under the dollhouse. He pried it loose and opened it carefully. It was a letter. The handwriting was messy, desperate. "My name is Clara. I don't know how much time I have. I'm trapped in the dollhouse. Please don't touch the attic. Don't speak to her. She'll take you too." Elias's heart thudded. So it was true. The curse, the missing girl, the dolls. He stepped back, thinking quickly. If Clara was inside, maybe the others were too. He looked again at the dollhouse. There were 7 dolls, a family, and Clara. He wasn't sure how, but he knew they weren't just dolls. They were people, trapped, souls sealed in porcelain. That night, Elias didn't sleep. He sat at his desk, poring over everything he could find about haunted objects, cursed dolls, soul imprisonment. Most of it was nonsense, but one detail kept repeating. A soul sealed by ritual must be released by truth. He didn't know what that meant. Truth. Whose truth? Then he remembered the whisper he heard when he opened the attic. One more to go. Maybe Anora, whoever she was trying to finish something. Maybe, if he stopped her before she completed the dollhouse family, the souls could be freed. But he needed more. He returned to the attic the next morning and opened every drawer, every cabinet. Behind a rotting trunk, he found a torn diary bound in red ribbon. On the first page was a name, Anora Holloway. Her handwriting changed as the pages went on, from childish to wild, erratic. "They left me up here. Mama never came back. I was cold, so I made dolls to keep me company. The dollhouse helped me remember where they sat, where they laughed. It was like I could have them forever. So I did. I found their eyes, their names. I called them back. But one left me. The girl, Clara. She fights. I hate her for it. I want her to be quiet. I sewed her mouth shut. Still, she stares at me. Still, she knows." Elias's stomach turned. Anora hadn't just made dolls. She had trapped the souls of anyone who entered the attic. But there was more. The final page read, "Only when the dolls speak again can the game end. But no one hears them. No one listens. I listen. So they stay." That was it. The dolls couldn't speak. They were silenced, literally. Sewn mouths. Glass eyes. If he could get one of them to speak, maybe the curse would break. He needed to reach Clara. That night, Elias sat in the attic with a candle, the diary in his lap, and the dollhouse before him. "I know you're in there, Clara," he said softly. "I found your letter. I believe you." The dolls didn't move. He leaned closer to the attic section of the dollhouse. "I'm not afraid of her, but I need to help you. Please give me a sign." For a long moment, there was only silence. Then, a single stitch on the red-dressed doll's mouth snapped loose. Behind it, Clara's doll blinked. Elias gasped. "She's alive," he whispered. But the moment of hope was short-lived. The attic door slammed shut behind him, and the temperature dropped instantly. She was here. Anora, the girl in the red dress. Her ghostly form emerged from the shadows, black-threaded lips curling into a cruel smile. "You weren't invited," she hissed. "You broke the rules." "I'm not here to play," Elias said. "I'm here to end this." Anora's form twitched. Her eyes glowed faintly red. The dolls inside the house rattled, jerking violently. She raised a hand, and Elias felt his limbs freeze, like invisible strings had wrapped around his wrists. "I just wanted family," she whispered. "Someone who wouldn't leave." Elias met her eyes. "You took their voices. You didn't ask. You stole them." Anora snarled, the shadows writhing behind her. "You want the truth? Elias said, raising the diary. Here it is. You were left behind, and what happened to you was wrong. But trapping others won't fix it. It'll only make you lonelier. The dolls began to tremble. Anora faltered. Her form flickered like a candle in wind. Let them go, Elias said gently. Let her go. One by one, the stitches on the attic dolls' mouths came undone. Clara gasped, and her voice came through like a whisper on the wind. Elias? He smiled. I'm here. Anora screamed, a long, broken sound. Her form cracked like glass. The dollhouse began to shake, and with a loud snap, the attic window burst open, sending wind howling into the room. The dolls fell backward. The house groaned. And then, silence. Elias woke to daylight. He was lying on the attic floor, the dollhouse beside him. But something had changed. The dolls were gone. Every single room was empty. The dollhouse was just a house. No figures, no faces, no red dress. He stood up slowly, dazed. Behind him, the attic door opened on its own. Downstairs, a girl sat at the kitchen table with her mom. She looked familiar, brown hair, checkered dress. She looked real. When she saw Elias, she stood up and ran to him, wrapping him in a hug. You did it, she whispered. You saved me. Clara, he asked, stunned. She nodded, tears in her eyes. I was there so long, but I saw everything. Thank you. The dollhouse was removed and locked away by the town's historical society. Some said it was just an old toy. Others knew better. But no one else went into that attic again. And no one ever heard another whisper. Because finally, the dolls could rest. And Clara? She was no longer porcelain. She was free.